The least the gun grabbers could do is know what they're talking about when they try to destroy the Second Amendment. The irony of gun control laws is that many of the bureaucrats and radical anti-gun activists who create the laws don't know what they're talking about. They may truly fear firearms because of the propaganda they receive on the topic, and they may truly believe that more gun restrictions will keep people safe. However, the vast majority are likely to push restrictive gun laws so they can stay in good graces with their political peers. This is why we have so many instances of Democrats trying to justify the latest gun law du jour with incomprehensible and often downright ridiculous ideas and data points that make absolutely no sense. They don't take the time to learn the topic because they simply don't care to gain knowledge. They just want enough information to afford the ability to speak out against the topic so they can disarm their fellow citizens. Here's a clip from Dianne DeGette, who serves as a U.S. representative for Colorado's 1st Congressional District. Now, she's been in Congress since 1997, and yes, she's a Democrat.
Efficacy of banning these magazine clips. I will tell you, these are ammunition. They're bullets. So the people who have those now, they're going to shoot them. And so if you ban them in the future, the number of these high capacity magazines is going to decrease dramatically over time because the bullets will have been shot and there won't be any more available.
Now, you would think that since 1997, Diana would have learned the difference between a magazine and bullets. It would appear that she thinks they are one and the same, and once the rounds are fired, somehow the magazines go away. Dianne Feinstein served as a United States Senator from California from 1992 until her death in 2023, and was a longtime activist for the destruction of the Second Amendment through heavy gun restrictions. In this clip, she tries desperately to use highly emotional rhetoric, which of course is not true, and yes, she too was a Democrat.
We have federal regulations and state laws that prohibit hunting ducks with more than 3 rounds, and yet it's legal to hunt humans with 15-round, 30-round, even 150-round magazines.
So according to Dianne, hunting humans is legal? It's amazing the length some people will go to for the purpose of scaring the public into supporting laws that violate the Constitution. Now, this next clip is an all-time favorite and should be archived in the Gun Grabbers Hall of Infamy. In this next clip, you're going to learn about a new firearm they call a ghost gun that has a 30 caliber clip. It can disperse 30 bullets in half a second and also has a new feature called a 30 magazine clip.
This is a ghost gun. This right here has ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second.
That was California State Senator Kevin DeLeon. And in case you were wondering, yes, he's a Democrat. This extreme desire to ban firearms while also having a lack of interest in learning facts about what they want to ban is filtered down from the media and our politicians to the common left-wing activists. So here's a woman who is out in public protesting firearms and advocating for the complete ban of the AR-15, yet she doesn't know the difference between an AR-15 and a paintball gun.
Regulating or even banning AR-15s, is that something that you support?
Oh, absolutely. We don't not need a war weapon.
You, off the top of your head, know which of these guns is an AR-15?
Well, maybe the 5. I'm not sure, though, actually. I've never seen one.
The 5 is actually a paintball gun.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
In this next clip, the anti-Second Amendment activist doesn't know anything about firearms, and she admits it. And what's interesting is you'll notice she says nobody needs an AR-15, as if the right to keep and bear arms is subjected to someone's interpretation of what others might need.
People in the gun control camp are calling for AR-15 specifically to be regulated and banned. Do you support that?
I do. I mean, who needs an AR-15? Nobody needs an AR-15.
I have a list right here of just a couple different firearms Do you know which one of these is an AR-15?
I don't know. I've never held a gun in my life. There's no need to own a gun. I don't know which one. All of these should be regulated.
Talk about arrogance and authoritative entitlement. She knows what's best for you. Now, this hardcore anti-gun mentality is the scariest of all because it shows a complete willful ignorance to understand the topic, coupled with vehemently aggressive anti-gun mindset and a complete disregard for the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and specifically the Second Amendment. So how does this happen? And how do they get away with creating firearm restrictions that infringe upon our constitutional rights when they have no idea what they're even talking about? The harsh reality that we need to understand is much of our legislation is driven by the emotional reaction of the public, which is why propaganda is used when discussing the topic of guns. And real Americans don't push back nearly as much as we should. Propaganda is necessary to convince people of things that, in this case, Democrats need them to believe, to get them to support restrictive, unconstitutional gun laws. As a result, we end up with lawful citizens being disarmed, violent criminals running wild, and delusional left-wing anti-gun voters believing that they don't really need to know what they're talking about because they're told they're the moral and intellectual authority on the topic of guns. They believe the Second Amendment is irrelevant and they're saving the world. They don't believe they owe you any sort of explanation. Now, the threat to our freedom is not limited to congressional representatives in Washington, D.C. and the anti-gun lobby. It's as close as your next-door neighbor. If you take a hard look at the political left and you watch their actions, you'll see the intention to turn our country into something that resembles China. They want you to be disarmed because as long as you have access to firearms, you have leverage over those who want complete control of your life. You also have the power to retain your freedom, and that scares them because they've already decided that they're willing to give up theirs. Your firearms are the key to your free will, and the left hates that. Our founding fathers wrote the Second Amendment because they saw these people coming over 200 years away. Thanks for watching Bullet Points. I'm Dan Wass for Gun Owners Foundation. You can find more Second Amendment content and updates at gunowners.com.